Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Professional Student. It's me, Sean Smallwood, and today we're going to be talking about the value chain analysis regarding Subway sandwiches. Um, this is a framework that was developed by Michael Porter. If you'll recall, we discussed the five forces analysis in my previous presentation, which was also another framework that was developed by Michael Porter. So, what is a value chain? You can see there are different areas outlined here on the graphic that I got from Harvard Business School. So, we have secondary activities, we have primary activities, and then we have the margin, which is talking about profit margin, which is value. So, according to Harvard Business School, the term value chain refers to the various business activities and processes involved in creating a product or performing a service. Primary activities are those that go directly into the creation of a product or the execution of a service, including inbound logistics, operations, outbound logistics, marketing and sales, after sales services, and secondary activities help the primary activities become more efficient, effectively creating a competitive advantage, and those are broken down into procurement, technological development, human resources management, and infrastructure. The function of a value chain analysis, according to Harvard Business School, is a way to evaluate the activities in a company's value chain in order to understand where opportunities for improvement lie. The analysis it will allow owners and managers, as well as corporate, depending on what level it's being conducted on, to look at each step of the process from start to finish, from how franchises are established to how customers receive the end product and how they are taken care of after they receive that product, with everything in between. Um, and you have to consider how it either adds or takes away value from the final product or service, and does that allow you to gain a competitive edge, or is it a competitive disadvantage? Not well, that's not competitive. Is it a disadvantage? Let's go ahead and dive into infrastructure. So, infrastructure includes company overhead and management, including financing and planning. As I've previously mentioned in my previous analysis, Subway is a franchise with over 36,000 locations globally and is also one of the cheapest restaurants to own. As a franchise, franchisees have access to support a well-established, they have access and support to a well-established structure and proven business model. Startup costs for a franchise range from 100,000 to 263,000, not including a $15,000 franchise fee that includes a 20-year term agreement. The average build time is 6 to 12 months for a Subway restaurant, or franchisees can purchase existing stores that are for sale. Each owner will have access to a development agent who is a local on-site representative of Subway. They are a primary contact and can provide local support through the application process and as owners operate their restaurant after completion. Corporate provides detailed blueprints for the store design from their design team and recommends contractors, but owners are responsible for hiring a contractor to build their location. Owners do not have to negotiate leases for their location, as those leases are held corporately and they are subleased to owners. Weekly fees to corporate include paying 12.5% of gross sales, not including tax. 8% goes towards franchise royalties, and 4.5% goes towards advertising costs. A location on the high end of sales might earn a owner an upwards of $150,000 or more, whereas a struggling Subway location might only earn $40,000. On average, owners make a 20% profit margin on gross sales. On the higher end, 25%, and on the lower end, 15%. Now we're going to talk about human resources management, which includes recruitment, hiring, training, development, retention, and compensation of employees. So anybody can go to the Subway website and learn how to become an owner. The typical hiring process varies by position, but most include an in-store online application process, a phone screening, and an in-person interview. Owners will receive training classes held throughout the year. Subway has training centers around the world, with the main training center in Milford, Connecticut. Owners are assigned to a training center based on their location and their language preference. According to Indeed, employees are trained by store managers for a couple of days, but after about 5 days, they teach you how to welcome customers, how to make subs, and how to run the register. Employees will also learn how to safely handle and store food, as well as cleaning and sanitation procedures. Subway sandwiches are considered a low pay and low skill job, resulting in low performance from employees and a high turnover rate, which increase the overall training costs and operational costs. According to ZipRecruiter, the average Subway manager in North Carolina makes $22 an hour. Assistant managers make between $12 and $14 an hour, and sandwich artists make between $11 to $12 per hour. All of these numbers are below the national average pay, but you also have to take into account the cost of living, which varies by location. So now we're going to get into technological development, which includes research and development, including product design, market research, and process development. So I have 20 plus years in the food service industry, and my background kind of comes in handy here, as the process for how fast food corporations and restaurants in general operate is very, very similar. So Subway has corporate chefs. They have trained corporate chefs, and there are executives that are in charge of running menu development um, and innovation, as well as whatever the stores offer and the nutritional value. So the primary focus of the corporate chefs at Subway is on menu improvement and innovation, as well as introducing new and craveable offerings. The primary research used by Subway consists of online surveys that measures customer satisfaction when they visit Subway stores. Regarding the process development, Subway is focused on a franchise development strategy, as they have had over 4,000 locations close globally since 2016. So this franchise development strategy is focused on the United States, Canada, and the European Union, which includes switching over to an experienced focused organization in order to optimize the brand's footprint and prepare for future growth, invest in modern restaurant designs, and broaden the franchisee profile. Now we're going to go ahead and get into procurement. Procurement is kind of basically like a purchasing department, if you will, of an establishment, which includes the sourcing of raw materials, components, equipment, and services. So all Subway sandwich shop owners must purchase food and equipment from Subway approved vendors and sources. Corporate provides you with all of that. Since it is a franchise, owners do have some power over some things, but regarding products that they receive, they do not have control over that, as that has been scaled in order to have standardized products regardless of what location you go at. Even though Subways are owned by different owners, you should be able to get the same quality products at every single location. So we're going to go ahead and talk about inbound logistics, which include receiving, warehousing, and inventory management. So, owners and managers have to track sales to predict the supplies required for menu offerings. Most restaurants have established par levels, which are minimum amounts of supplies required to be on hand at all times. Par levels can be adjusted with additional orders. Turnaround time depends on the local approved Subway vendors. Still, supplies are ordered on an as needed basis as most Subway restaurants are small and do not have the capability to house large amounts of inventory. Orders are placed through an app called Subventory. Subventory, there we go. After orders are placed, they are delivered by truck to the restaurant. Then inventory is downloaded and stored depending on where it's at. Like, frozen food needs to stay frozen, refrigerated food needs to stay cold and in the refrigerator, dry goods stay in a storage area off the floor and away from the wall, away from vermin that could possibly be in the building, which they shouldn't be because they're all clean. And then cleaning supplies have to be kept separate from all food items at all times. So, you don't accidentally grab a bottle of bleach instead of a container of mayonnaise. Subventory tracks orders and calculates average weekly usage levels in all of the products and makes recommendations on levels to purchase in order to get owners through to their next order. The numbers vary by stores and location as franchisees are individually owned and locations, some obviously will have more traffic than other if they have a really high volume location. Now we're going to get into operations, which is the process involved in turning raw materials and components into finished products. So Subway bread and cookies have to be baked off fresh daily. They are baked from a frozen state. The bread is frozen and it has to be thawed and proofed in order to rise before it is baked. Cold lines must be cleaned, turned on, and prepared by being stocked with all of the sandwich offerings, the meats, cheeses, vegetables, sauces, and whatnot. Once breads and cookies are baked, they have to be transferred over to their various display or storage areas. Chips and other menu offerings also have to be stocked and displayed. The bread toaster has to be turned on and preheated. Drink machines need to be checked to ensure that syrup levels are adequate and that the CO2 tank actually is full so that beverages come out carbonated. If the CO2 tank is not full, it has to be changed. Cash registers have to be prepared and set up with change. So now we're going to talk about outbound logistics. Outbound logistics are how does the product get from Subway to the customer. So customers are now ready to come into the store after it has been prepared, and they can come in the store and physically order, or they can order online through the Subway website or through various apps. Once an order is placed, the sandwiches are made in an assembly line style according to the customer's wants. Once those sandwiches are complete, they are bagged up and the customer is rang up and checked out at the register. Sandwiches and accompaniments are passed to the customer. They can choose to stay and enjoy their meal in store, or they can leave and enjoy their meal at their own leisure. Let's go ahead and dive into marketing and sales, which includes promotions, advertising, and their pricing strategy. Subway's target audience is diverse from children to adults. Their low-calorie, eat-fresh options attract many people, including those who are on diets, looking to just eat healthy, or they have specific dietary restrictions. Folks that value customization and control over their meal choices and like having a large selection of sandwich offerings are often attracted to Subway because they enjoy the convenience of the speedy fast food like service. So Subway's marketing mix, as I've previously discussed, consists of the 4 P's, which again is product, price, promotion, and place. Product: Subway sandwiches, salads, and sides customized to the individual's needs, wants, and dietary restrictions. Price: Subway's pricing strategy is to offer affordable options, and they have many different sales campaigns, including the famous $5 footlong, or buy one footlong, get another one 50% off, and so on. Promotions vary by location as individual owners have control over the promotions they participate in. So, not all Subway locations participate in every promotion that is put out through corporate. So, promotion, they emphasize the healthy you meal or the healthier menu, focusing on the Eat Fresh campaign. Subway uses various media outlets to advertise, including social media and mobile apps to engage with customers and promote their product. Place Subway is a franchise and can be purchased by anyone who meets their requirements. The actual franchise, not the sandwich, as they have over 36,000 locations, with the majority in the United States. It is likely that you have one close by or you know where one is located, so if you, as a customer, choose to purchase a sandwich or any of their offerings, you can go visit one of those locations. And as I talked about before, they are currently focused on increasing the amount of franchisees that they have in order to bring their numbers back up on par and hopefully outtake or surpass McDonald's again, as they once have in the past for having the most amount of locations worldwide. Now we're going to go ahead and talk about Subway sandwiches after sales services, which includes quality assurance, customer service, and all of that fun stuff. So Subway has an online site with a frequently asked questions section. So you can go there and check if you have a question regarding your experience or products. Additionally, you can contact them and provide feedback to a specific restaurant location. So you can go on the Subway site and it will ask you for your specific location and store, and then you can submit an email and that will be directed towards that specific owner. So Subway is committed, this is from their website by the way, Subway is committed to providing a variety of great tasting, nutritious food choices while reducing its environmental footprint and creating a positive influence in the communities it serves around the world. They're on a journey to make restaurants and operations environmentally and socially responsible, striving to conduct business in a way that has a positive impact while improving the lives of their customers, franchisees, employees, vendors, and communities worldwide. Subway is a nutritional leader committed to offering a full range of great tasting options for customers globally. All nutritional information is available online. Sorry, I almost laughed at that. Nutritional leader depends on what you get. That's very subjective. You can easily go to Subway sandwich and get 1,000-calorie meal. So it really just depends on what you pick off of their menu. So customers can also go online and take a survey with a valid receipt once every 7 days. Obviously, them being a fast food restaurant, quality assurance would include employees going over all of the products before they are put out on that cold line, checking packages for expiration dates, visually inspecting them to see if there's any mold growing on them, or if there are bad smells coming from the packages. It also includes keeping track of the refrigerator temperatures and the freezer temperatures, ensuring that all products are properly stored out of the temperature danger zone so that bacterial growth is inhibited. It includes taking proper sanitation steps to include that all dishes are washed and sanitized properly, as well as all surfaces, bathrooms, trash taken out properly, and whatnot. Basically, anything that can affect the customer experience. When it comes to food, it's not just simply food. Having an extensive food background, people don't realize that when you make mistakes in food, you think, oh, it's just the temperature, it's just that, it's just this. You have to take into consideration customers that have immunocompromised disorders or diseases, young children, elderly, HIV, all of that fun stuff, because something minor for a normal person can be something major, and food that is mishandled or not properly stored or inspected for quality can kill someone. So I have a lot of different thoughts coming to an end with this presentation, looking at what Subway can do to improve based on this analysis. So one thing that really stood out to me was their employee turnover rate. I know that profit margins are low for individual owners, but that depends on the location, on where they are at. I think they could take clues from McDonald's. Uh, McDonald's chooses their locations very, very specifically in high volume areas to ensure that they are generating enough foot profit in order to turn or foot traffic in order to turn a profit. Um, I think it would behoove Subway to really take into account the location of where they are at in order to help set those owners up for more success. Also, making sure that their owners are properly trained in how to keep their food costs down, in how to reduce waste and stick to that environmental commitment. There's huge amounts of waste in food production. You think about Subway sandwiches, their motto is eat fresh. You know, everything is baked daily, the bread, the cookies, anything that's left at the end of the shift has to be thrown away. So if you have an employee who bakes off a huge amount of bread an hour before closing, that is obviously a problem. So employees and managers and owners need to be trained on how to really stick to that made to order model, and that requires a lot of time management. You have to know how long does your bread take to thaw out from the freezer, how long does it take to proof, how long does it take to bake, and then you can gauge what you need to prepare based on the levels that you have in stock, um, already baked off and prepared. And using sales data, using historical sales data can also help you. Once you get that established, you can start doing averages and know about how many customers per day you can expect on average, which helps you know how much you need to prepare in advance. But yes, they need to increase their employee. I'm sorry, I digressed and went off on a whole little tangent, but they need to improve the wages that they're paying their employees. I understand the economy is not the best, but if you pay people a good wage, they will value their job and they will be happy to do it. And that in turn translates to the customer, who's going to have a more pleasant experience from an employee who is satisfied and has a good work-life balance versus an employee who is just there to collect a paycheck and is not really motivated or energized to do their job or excited to do their job. When I read that Subway was considered a low skill, low wage job, it just kind of makes me stand back and go, it might be from someone else's perspective, but from my perspective in food service, not really. You think about all the different combinations of sandwiches that people have, all the different combinations of bread that they have, and the direct face-to-face interaction of customer service that you have to have with your with Subway customers that the sandwich artists have. Customer service, I don't care whether you're working in a restaurant, a department store, when you have that level, that high level of customer service, it is very, very stressful. And the whole goal is to try and make the customer have a good experience or de escalate situations and turn those experiences around into something positive. Um, yeah, that's not easy, and it's very, very stressful for those those frontline forward facing employees. So just a few thoughts to take into consider. Also regarding their healthy menu options and their healthy choices. The meats, the cheeses, the vegetables, sure. But when it comes to the bread, I really think that's where Subway loses it. I know the bread is what people go there for, but if Subway could make a healthier bread and reduce the calories in their bread while still providing a quality product, it would really help them gain a bigger competitive edge, I think, over their contenders. Maybe even offering a sourdough option. People like sourdough. I don't know. Call me crazy. But thank you so much for watching my presentation. And here are my references, which will also be provided in a separate list below this video. So you can click on those links and check it out for yourself.